998, 999, 1,000. Nothing like a mild workout before starting a YouTube video. Last month, we got to revisit a game I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and I was reminded that just because you're nostalgic for something, doesn't mean you have to like it. But we have another round of games to talk about, and it looks like this month's theme is manliness. And as someone who clearly identifies as an alpha male, I think I know a little bit about manliness. So, let's not waste any more time and get right to it. What, you don't think Mario is manly? What happens when you take the O out of Mario and then combine the R and the I? That's right. You get man. You've heard of this game, right? Super Mario World? The sequel to Super Mario Bros. 3? Seriously? It came bundled with the Super Nintendo? The Super Nintendo. The follow-up console to the Nintendo Entertainment System? No one's heard of this game? Alright, well let me educate you. Super Mario World was released on the Super Nintendo in North America in 1990. Anyway, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this game. Seriously, if you're watching this channel and have never heard of this game, your algorithm must be broken. Or you're way too young. And I hate to break it to you, this isn't AI. This is a real man talking about real manly things, like saving princesses and drugs. Personally, this is probably my favorite Mario game of all time. I even devoted some time to beating this game 100% several years ago. Yes, including that piece of tubular level. You know the one. I love how after beating all the levels, the overworld changes, and even a couple of enemies too. I actually didn't know about this until I 100%'d the game. Anyway, clearly I'm not the only one who loves this game, as there's an entire community dedicated to creating and playing Super Mario World hacks. Even I've dabbled a bit in what they call Kaizo Mario. While the term Kaizo is subjective, these games are notorious for their difficulty. However, even though the ones I've beaten were considered beginner hacks, they're still not a walk in the park. You definitely need to learn how the controls work to make any progress in these games. There's subtleties that a lot of casual players may not know about, and that included me. I do have to highlight the hack called Quickie World with a Vengeance. While not my favorite in the series, I'd give that to Quickie World 2. This one introduced me to the song Hot Drinks. You're not familiar with Hot Drinks? The too good for its own right catchy ass banger that masquerades as a Wendy's training video? Oh man, educate yourselves and look it up. After watching this video, of course. But let me provide you a quick preview because, well, I can't help myself.
Hot drinks really get you going, warms you up when you feel you're slowing. Wendy's, we always serve it right away. Add a smile and have a nice day.
I'm not ashamed to admit the wife and I have rocked out to this banger on several occasions. Usually after a couple of cold drinks. Let me ask you, what other YouTube channel would start off talking about Super Mario World and end with talking about a 40-year-old Wendy's training video? That's right, no one with self-respect, that's for sure. Well, we're definitely starting this month off strong. Let's see if we can maintain that momentum while we jump into another first in this series. Nintendo's manliest console ever, the GameCube. This is an interesting game. Well, let's get the story out of the way first. A couple are out on a date at the movies, and of course, like always, the woman is more interested in other things than watching the movie. Seriously, you women are all alike. A man just wants to watch a movie with the girl he loves, maybe hold hands, but no. Blatant misogyny and masculine hypocrisy out of the way, somehow the main villain of the movie comes to life and kidnaps your woman. So of course, it's a video game, so now we're on a quest to rescue a damsel in distress. Now you're a superhero or something, the story doesn't matter. I will say I do like the art style. It's definitely got its own vibe. Also, the combat's a bit weird. You can duck and jump over attacks by pressing down or up respectively. A jumps, Y punches, and X kicks. You can also slow down time by pressing Y. It's at this moment I remembered how indifferent I've always felt about the GameCube controller. But it is playable. What was with games during this time feeling the need to grade you at the end of a section or level?
Am I crazy? But I feel like there was a ton of games that did this. Or maybe just one that scarred me for life.
Funny enough, while writing this script, I started playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and guess what? You know, sometimes it can be a bit demoralizing. It's not like I need any more grading in my life. Some of you will get that joke. It's also a bit annoying to be told you could have done better. I beat it, didn't I? Anyway, one of the things I enjoy about reviewing more classic retro games is you don't typically need to spend a ton of time with the game to know if it's fun. Long story short, I didn't spend a ton of time with this game, but I can safely say I would have loved this back in the day. I can't really describe how difficult the game is, mainly because I again didn't spend enough time with it, and also my semi-dislike for the GameCube controller, but I was kind of annoyed that I lost all my progress after I used up my 2 continues. So I decided to lower the difficulty just to try and get more footage. I like how the difficulty options are kids or adults. Yep, the game continues to demoralize me. I will say you definitely have to be a bit more strategic on the adult difficulty. The game becomes a bit more of a button masher on the kids difficulty. But hey, whatever's more fun for you, right?
You know, there's a ton of games that I regret not playing back in the day because I feel like if you didn't play them when they were new and fresh, you may not appreciate them the same way, if that makes sense. Is it a bad game? I don't think so, but is it something that I want to prioritize what little time I have to playing it versus something else? Well, that's always my problem. Anyway, let's see if we can end this month strong. Like me. Yeah, now we're talking. There was nothing more manly than wrestling on the N64.
Yeah, this game was also on the PS1, shut up. I wouldn't say this was one of the better wrestling games during that time, but it's not as bad as I was expecting. Anyway, I didn't watch much WCW back in the day. I was more of a WWF, WWE kind of guy. Also, I remember wrestling playing a much bigger part of my childhood. Like, I was hardcore into it. Playing the games, never missing a show. Looking back though, it was really like a year and a half of my youth. Time really flowed differently back in the day. Well, let's check out what options we have. Quick Start jumps you right into the action. Main Event allows you to create customized matches. Quest for the Best, I assume, is some sort of career mode. Pay-per-view Password allows you to use passwords to generate memorable matches. Not sure why you needed a password for that, but whatever. And Create a Wrestler allows you to, well, create a wrestler. The roster is split up into different factions: WCW, NWO Black and White, NWO Wolfpack, Horsemen, Cruiserweight, and Hardcore. Yeah, the last time I played No Mercy, I was reminded how many of those wrestlers were no longer with us. I'm gonna try to avoid doing that here. As far as match types go, there's nothing really too exciting here. At least no special match types people care about. You do have a decent amount of arenas to pick from the start. Hell, there's even some commentary, which I can only assume would get old rather quick. The graphics are what you would expect. They could be worse, but man, this kind of stuff really blew our minds back in the day, right? I love how every wrestler stands the exact same awkward way. I should mention the controls, but I really don't want to get into thorough detail, mainly because I didn't feel like trying to master the controls to a game I knew I was never going to come back to. Yeah, I know, I'm lazy. But I have played worse. I was able to figure things out a bit, so that's better than what I can say about some other wrestling games I've played. Also, it's really hard for me not to compare the gameplay to the wrestling games that use the Aki engine. You know the ones. But yeah, this isn't one I could see myself coming back to. I'd much rather just play WrestleMania 2000 or No Mercy. The fun factor just isn't quite there. Also, there's no nostalgia here for me, so there's that. But I will say this, it's definitely not the worst WCW game there is.
Well, there you have it. 3 manly games that only manly men can play. Now it's time for me to go pump some iron, because that's what manly...
What the hell are you doing?
I'm just shooting a YouTube video.
I told you to do the dishes an hour ago.
Well, yeah, but...
Are you sassing me, young man?
Well, no.
Get your ass up, go do the dishes, or no video games for a whole week.
Yes, ma'am.